Hello YouTubers, it's Saturday, August 30th. I'm off work all next week. Yay. Got all kinds of projects planned. Thought I'd work on the mower a little bit today. Drained the gas out of it, put fresh oil in it, put some fresh gas in it. Had to put my jump starter on it and got it to fire up, and it ran for probably maybe almost a minute. Didn't even have to use that can of ether there to get it going, but then it just kind of went pop pop and just stalled out. So I went to try to start it again, and my jump starter was just not powerful enough. I'd ran it down too much. So I got it on the charger, just letting that rest for a minute, and came over here to work on my welding table. Let me move the camera and we'll take a look at this. Decided I'd switch gears and try to get some of the stuff done here to get this thing up on wheels. Right here's what I burnt 4 of these at work. They will weld on the table with the caster sticking down. I got these pieces of tubing to weld on the top, and some gussets, triangular pieces, to weld to the side of the table. I got one made up. This is what it's going to look like. That just slips up in there, and that'll be welded to the table. Now, the idea is going to be to have the feet about 1 inch off the ground on these casters, so if I need it steady and won't roll around, I can just pick up the end and kick a 2x4 under the 4 legs, and then it'll set on those and be rock solid. At least that's the plan. The way I did it, I just used C-clamp, put that on there. That goes up in there. I just make sure that everything's lined up. Got to turn on the welder. And I'm not much of a welder, but here we go. I can never get these hoods adjusted right. I'm going to have to break down and get one of those helmets like BC Truck just bought. See what happens if I have it loose enough that I can knock it down as I'm working. It'll just go and get in front of my face and I can't see. What I do is I tack it on both sides to kind of help keep it straight when I do the rest of the welding, because the heat will pull it over if you don't. that'll go right in there like that. I always take the chisel in, try to scrape as much of those little slag balls off. I've got one of these magnets. They give you a 90-degree angle here. I make sure it's down tight on there. Then I lay it down on here. Make sure I'm going to have a good tight angle here. Then I'll tack it here, here, and here before I weld the whole thing. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it along this edge here to make sure it's straight. It's not that critical. As long as it looks straight, it's good enough. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I am getting a little better at welding. That's how I do that part. I'll get the rest of them welded up. See if I can get this table lifted up the right height and get the paint cleaned off and get them welded on here. Be right back. Okay, I've got all 4 of them made. put the casters in. What I did was I set it up against here, square. Marked here with my Sharpie. Got a little square. Marked the top of my line across there, then relined it up and marked where I want to weld it. I don't know if that's going to help or not, but I'm going to grind all the paint off right there, so now I can weld to it. I did both of them on this side here, both feet. I got it setting up on some 1-inch thick tubing on all 4 corners, so that when I get the casters welded on there, it will be 1 inch off the floor. It's pretty heavy. Let me get this ground off and start welding those on. Well, I got enough metal ground off, or enough paint ground off, so I've got bare metal where I need to weld. I cut a 2x4 block to put underneath the back of it to hold it square and at the right height. So now I'm just going to tack it on there, then get that block out of there so I can weld it good without worrying about burning it. Then I'll have it ready for the next one. Let's tack it on there. Now come on. This out of here. I've not done a bunch of vertical welding, so this is going to be a treat. I think I'll weld it across the center in the bottom here first, and then go up the insides. That's done. I'm going to get a fresh rod. I don't know whether you're supposed to weld up or down. I'm going to start at the bottom and go up.